By the way, you said that your mic seems to be not working. Pneumonia, I didn't see you in class last week, eh? Did I?
No, you didn't. I
And
started today.
when are we going to see you in class?
Next week.
Okay, I thought maybe you're out of Johannesburg and you'd only prefer online lessons.
No, I'm coming next week.
Okay, that's wonderful. Now the challenge is that we've got about 2 students. We have got a clash on their timetable, and they are saying that they're going to join at 15:40. So I'm just going to record this session and make sure that they get the recording. You guys can hear me clearly, right?
Yes.
Okay. Who have assessed the assignment so far? Can you guys see it on Core Campus?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, that's wonderful. As you can see, this assignment is due uh, in April, so between 6 and 12 April. So you have got a sort of a week to submit this assignment, which is always flexible for students, because when I was studying, we're not given a submission week, we're given a submission day. So if it's due on Friday, it's due on Friday, and that's non-negotiable. But with you guys, this assignment, you have got a week to submit this assignment, meaning that if you miss it on a Saturday, you can submit it on a Monday, you can submit it on a Thursday, you can submit it on a Friday, as long as it is before the 12th of April. So I want to emphasize on that, and I know that students are procrastinate and would see that most of students would like to submit on the 12th in the evening, because on the 12th, I think it will be on a Friday. So realize that most of the students would like to submit on a Friday at around 11, when the assignment itself will be closing at 23:59. So there are challenges that you normally face, especially when you submit late. Considering load shedding, and sometimes you want to submit in the evening, then you realize that the server is down. So I would highly recommend and advise students to submit as soon as possible. Today we are going to discuss the assignment. It means that you are going to have plenty time to do this assignment. You've got whole of March, working on this assignment, and it is just an F1 assignment. So I don't think that there will be any struggles, to complete this assignment on time. But if you procrastinate, you are going to have some challenges, especially considering that you have got other subjects where you need to do the assignment. This assignment is not going to be submitted in class. It is going to be submitted on Core Campus. So as I said, you have to make sure that you submit on time, or else you might have problems with Core Campus itself, or you might even experience load shedding in your area, and all of a sudden you not have access to power, or even access to the internet, because in some areas when there's load shedding, the network signal becomes very poor. So you also need to consider things like that, because if you come back to me during or after the submission deadline and you start telling me stories that I'm mentioning now, I'm not going to entertain that. Okay? I've mentioned that now, so don't tell me that I had load shedding, wara, wara, wara. I'm not going to entertain that, because you have got ample time to do this. And you know already that you can make use of the library on the campus. I think it's open throughout the week. I don't know if they open during the weekends, but during the week it is open. So if you are struggling with internet access, with data, you can always go and complete your assignment, and make sure that you've got a virtual data storage like a cloud data storage such as Dropbox or Google Drive or Microsoft Drive, because if you rely on your memory stick, I always hear students telling me stories that I lost my memory stick and I was done and this and that. So make sure that you back up your assignment. These are the basic things that you guys should have been told when you're in your first years. But I'm just emphasizing that so that tomorrow we do not have any problems. So it's going to be an individual assignment. This is not a group work, it's an individual assignment. So it means that you guys are going to do this assignment on your own, okay? It's also easy to see if there's been any form of collusion where students copy from each other. No matter how you change the wording, I can actually see that this expression or these answers are similar. So make sure that this assignment is an individual assignment. I normally hear students telling stories that I borrowed him or her my laptop and he ended up copying my assignment and stuff like that. So we are going to cover the basic concepts that are found in chapter 1 to 3. Some of them we'll be discussing them as the week's progresses. Some we've already discussed them last week. So Primonia, since you did not attend class last week, there are some topics that you've covered already. For example, the 5Ts, we discussed that on Thursday, on Friday. So try by all means to catch up with us. Especially physical classes, those classes are not recorded. So if you miss a class in campus, you are missing out on many things. At least with virtual classes, they can always be recorded, but we do not record physical classes. So we are going to look at introduction to digital marketing, online marketplace analysis, where you look at the microenvironment and the macro environment. So you'll be expected to demonstrate your understanding of the following. So you need to practically apply the theory, meaning if you just mention the theory and you do not have any application, you are going to get a 0. Because these theories are already in the textbooks, we are already discussing them. Now I need to know whether you can take the theory and put it into real life situation. So if you do not do that, unfortunately, you are going to get a 0. You also need to be able to research, to be able to know how new markets are developed. We are going to look at the ends of grid. So the ends of grid is going to show you how new markets are developed. It's going to show you how markets are penetrated. We are going to discuss business models. We're going to talk about e-commerce and its relations to digital marketing. We're going to look at internal analysis, customer analysis, competitor analysis, and options for generating revenue online and performing macro environmental analysis. So as I mention these concepts right now, it might seem as if these are huge stuff that you cannot even comprehend, but I can guarantee you, I can assure you, you realize that these are actually easy to understand concepts that we are going to be covering in class in weeks to come. So as I said, you need to provide and apply theory. No marks will be awarded if you only provide theory with no application. Okay. This assessment is going to be out of 110. So as it stands already, we have given you guys 110 marks. It's now up to you whether you want to collect all the 110 marks or whether you want to lose some of those 110 marks. That's how it works. Okay. So you actually need to see when you're answering the questions whether you are up for it. Because it's very easy for students to lose marks, especially those who choose not to answer questions. So I need to highlight this and I need to emphasize this. If you leave a question blank. Let's say question 1 has got 20 marks and you leave it blank, it means that you've already lost 20 marks out of 110. So that's why I'm saying that these marks are yours. It's now up to you to decide whether you want to collect them or not. So these are the technical aspects of the assignment. But before I get into the assignment itself, are there any questions so far?
I don't have a question.
Okay, perfect. But remember, guys, even after this briefing, you can always ask me questions, especially during class. Okay. So if you come across something that you do not understand, please shout. You know, I prefer asking questions than directly DMing me. You know? So I'm not saying that you can't DM me, but I always prefer that you ask me a question in class so that others can benefit from the discussion that you are going to have as a result of that question that you ask. Because you realize that when students DM me, in most cases, they'll be asking me the same questions, you know. So instead of me addressing the issue at once, it will be better than, addressing you guys individually. So I highly encourage you to ask any questions that are related to the assignment in class rather than DMing me. But if you feel like it's necessary to DM me, I also do not mind. All right, so this is the case study for the assignment. You realize that all the assignments that you are going to have throughout the year are based on industry case studies, because the theories that we are teaching you guys, you need to apply them to a real life situation, a real life scenario. So we are going to be looking at any uh, case studies that are related to the industry. For your F3 and your S1 assignment, you are going to get the brief from the agency itself, the digital marketing agency itself. It is based in Branston. So I'm going to take you there and you are going to hear from the people who are in the industry, like how they receive briefs from their clients, you know, and how uh, they come up with strategies for the marketing campaigns. So this is the reason why most of the assignments, all the assignments in fact, are going to be based on case studies. Okay. So I'm going to read this case study for you, but I encourage you that it doesn't end here. You also need to read it over and over and over again before you start answering the question. So you need to comprehend. I think in high school, you guys learned about comprehension passages, whereby you're given a passage just to assess you based on your understanding of the story. So I also encourage you to read this brief, not just once, understand it. The more you understand it, the more the questions that follow are going to be very familiar to you. Okay. Um, Read the following article and answer the questions that follow. Joran Trek goes into warrior mode at the festival of motoring. With special edition Bucky's All the Range, Stellantis has launched a souped-up warrior version of its Peugeot Trek double cab in South Africa. One of the highlights of the Stellantis display at this week's Festival of Motoring at Kyalami is the Landtrek 1.9 4-action 4x4 Warrior, which features unique accessories and a package of options to create additional appeal in the range. To boost its all-terrain ability, the French Bucky is fitted with an Oldman Emu lift kit that raises the ground clearance by 40 millimeters and fat 18-inch grip max mud range M4T tires with a chunky thread pattern designed to remove mud and debris while trekking the roughest trail. It has a full-face full bar with headlamps protectors, wrap-around headlight, and valance protection, and a wild dog rear bumper. You can see the tire that they're talking about there. Guys, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. The Landtrek Warrior is a one-off model, but customers can order the kit for about 120,000 rands. The standard Landtrek 1.94 action 4x4 bakkie is priced at 699,900,000 and provides outputs of 110 kilowatts and 350 Nm from its 1.9 liter four-cylinder turbo diesel engine. The Landtrek pickup, launched here in November 2021, is also available as a laser-paced ALA 4x2 model for 614,900. The annual Festival of Motoring occurs at the Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit on August 25 to 27. General access tickets are priced at 265 per adult and 70 rand for children aged 4 to 12 years, with younger children attending for free. For more information, visit safestivalofmotoring.com. So that's the brief, and the source link for the brief is also highlighted there. So are you guys well aware, those who are in the motoring industry who understand cars? Do you know bakkies, right?
Yes.
Some call them twin cabs. I see, Humphrey, your mic is now working. Did I hear you saying yes? Or it was
Yes.
Cremonium? Okay, perfect. The car is there. You can see the image for the car and you can see the image for the tire. All right, so that was the brief. Then what is it that you are asked to do as a potential digital marketing practitioner? You are the digital marketing strategist for Peugeot, responsible for developing online digital strategies. The head of digital marketing for the car manufacturer is optimistic about the on-demand 4x4 bakkies here in South Africa, but at the same time is worried that they have made a late entrant into a very highly competitive market. Remember, there have been other bakkies already. You've got your VW Amarok, you've got your Ford Rangers, you've got your GVM P series, you've got your Toyota GD6 Legend. So they feel like it has been a late entrant, like it's sort of too late. So the head of digital marketing has tasked you to prepare and answer the following questions below and present them in the next meeting. So this is what you are going to answer, based on the brief that you've been given. You realize that question 1 has got 35 marks. Again, I need to emphasize this because I always see with students when it's the first assignment, just like the F1 that I had last year, I come across many blank spaces, meaning that students would just leave an answer blank. As long as you leave answers blank, just know that automatically you have failed. For example, here in question 1, it is 35 marks. If you do not answer that question, already you have lost 35 marks. Okay? And this also slims your chances of graduating, by the way. So question 1 has got 35 marks. The first part of question 1 reads, the head of digital marketing has briefed you that it is crucial to increase sales. You have been tasked to utilize the 5S framework. We are going to discuss the 5S framework next week. Okay, so you guys, if you attend classes, you will know what the 5S framework is all about. So you have been tasked to utilize the 5S framework to explain the benefits of digital marketing that Peugeot could exploit to increase sales. So in your answers, you need to discuss the 5S framework and explain how it will benefit the company that produces the car. Your discussion must include a table with 3 columns. Okay, so you've got a table with 3 columns. I'm not saying 3 rows, columns. You know what columns are, right?
Yes.
Perfect. With 3 columns. So there'll be a column that has got the benefits of digital marketing, a column that will be how the benefit will be delivered by the company. Then the last column, it will be the examples of a typical objectives. Okay, so each role, now we are discussing roles. Each role must have an S of the 5S framework, meaning you are going to have 3 columns by 5 rows. So you get a 0 if you just provide theory without an application. So if you only discuss the 5S framework without telling us how it fits in this scenario, you are going to get a 0. Because we'll be repeating what we already know. Now we want to assess you to know how you can apply this 5S framework to the given scenario. So that's the first part of question 1, and it's going to be 15 marks. Any questions?
No question yet.
Okay. All right. Please, if you do not understand me, just let me know so that I can elaborate. You know, I do not want you to fail because you did not understand me. You guys have got many advantages because assignments can be read to you and the lecturer can unpack the assignment, you know, as much as possible. But some of us, when we're studying, we're just given an assignment as it is. You know, you go and understand it on your own, and then you make a submission. I don't remember even whenever I was studying that there was a time whereby the lecturers or the tutors could actually unpack an assignment for us, question by question. And still, guys, you know, you expect to fail when I'm actually unpacking these assignments for you. So I expect 90% and above. And if there's something that you do not understand, just let me know. This is an opportunity for you guys to pass. Then the second part of the question, what online business model is suitable for, or you guys know it as Peugeot, or just say it the way it is known, Umokase. So what online business models is suitable for Peugeot and why? Meaning, recommend a suitable business model for Peugeot and motivate. Also indicate why other business models will not work for Peugeot. So we are going to discuss business models this week, or even after this briefing, because here's just a briefing, so we haven't started today's lesson yet. You know, we are going to look, for example, at B2B model, C2C model, you know, B2C model, G to C model, which is government to consumers. So all those types of model, which one would be suitable for Peugeot? You need to motivate that, and you also need to tell us why it won't be suitable. So we realize that businesses use different models to operate or to practice whatever that they practice. Any questions on question 1, part 2? So this question is going to be out of 10 marks, and you need to make sure that the answers that you are giving are sufficient to earn you 10 marks. Because in most cases, students will only answer the first part of the question and expect 10 marks from it. For example, this question says, what online business model is suitable for Peugeot and why? You will see a student saying a business-to-business model is suitable for Peugeot. Then it ends there. There's no way you're going to get 10 marks from one sentence, guys. Elaborate, explain. These questions at the end, it says why. So give reasons, okay? So don't expect many marks when you give very, very short answers. You need to answer the question in full. Then we go to the third part of question 1. You have been tasked by the head of digital marketing to explain the difference between e-commerce and digital marketing. You need to define each first and show how the two are different using the examples of Peugeot. I'm sure by now you know what an e-commerce is. You guys have shopped at Takealot, you have shopped at Shein, you have shopped at Wish. You shop online, right? Since you are students or parents shop for you.
We do.
Okay, that's perfect. So you'd understand, you'd know by now what e-commerce is all about. So you need to define each and show how the two are different using examples. You know, if I were you, I would also come up with a table here. One column for e-commerce, another column for digital marketing. Then you use examples there. So once you are done with your part 1, part 2, and part 3 of question 1, then you'll be able to get your 35 marks there. Are there any questions or any comments, any additions or subtractions on question 1? Okay, now we move forward to question 2, where we are going to look at the micro-analysis of the digital environment. Since brands operate in the digital environment, you need to know the micro and the macro factors influencing their operations, okay? Influencing the way they engage with customers and influencing the way they perceive their competitors. You need to look at the factors, the wider business factors, using the pastel analysis. You know, you look at the political factors, you look at the legal factors, you look at the technological factors, you look at the social factors, the technological factors, you know, regulations like POPI Act. How do you handle customer data and stuff like that? Because you do not just operate in the digital environment. You need to have a proper micro analysis or situation analysis, or else if you do not do that, your business might be in trouble. So here, when doing a micro analysis on question 2, looking at question 2.1, by the way, this question is 45 marks. So already first question had 35 marks and this one has got 45 marks. So that's already more than half of the 110 that have been given. Provide 3 facts about the company. Which company are they talking about? Let's hear you guys. This question says provide 3 facts about the company. Which company is it? Because already if you don't know the company, then it means that you get the answer wrong.
It's the Peugeot company.
Yes, correct. So that's the company that you need to provide 3 facts about it. So these are facts. It means that is something that is verifiable. Okay. A fact is something that is verifiable. It's not an assumption. So if you say 1 plus 1 equals to 2, it can only qualify to be a fact if you can actually prove that if you get one object here and another object here, it is equals to 2. So I don't want you guys to give us assumptions about the company. We need to go and look for information, and you also need to reference because it is a fact. We need to know where you got that fact from, okay? So in bullet point form, you must research the company and its product or services, focusing on Peugeot in general, and provide essential facts to influence the digital marketing strategy. So investigate the product categories they are selling, how are they selling the product categories, and how are they communicating their offering. Provide 3 points under each question. You must then provide insight into the so what of these facts that you highlight. So sometimes you realize that students will be lazy. For example, someone will say Peugeot is a French car. It is a fact, okay? Of course, it originates from France. However, how does it relate to digital marketing? So you need to make sure that whatever fact that you're going to come up with, you must be able to explain the so what of it, okay? You must be able to relate it to digital marketing. So rather, look at their strategies. Look at how they sell their cars. Look at the type of the cars that they manufacture, okay? Don't just look for something that is too common, like saying that it is a French car. Of course, it is a fact, but how are you going to elaborate on that? You must reference each bullet point, otherwise you get a 0, even if you've got a relevant fact. As I said, you need to show that you got it from somewhere. If you do not do that, we will just see it as an assumption, okay, not as a fact. So that's the first part of question 2, and it's going to be 10 marks. Then now we move on to the second part of question 2. But before we do that, are there any questions? Okay. Then second part of question 2. Assess the company's 2 main competitors. So the competitors have been given to you already. You need to assess GWMP series and Nissan Navara. Those are the 2 competitors that you need to assess. So you are not looking at VW Amarok. You are not looking at Ford Ranger. You are not looking at Toyota Fortuner whatsoever. Those are the 2 competitors that have been given. Okay. So if you analyze competitors that are not given there, unfortunately, you are going to get a 0. It means that you are going to lose all the 15 marks that are allocated there. So you need to research the 2 competitors double cap. So even with GWMV, P series and Nissan Navara, you are only focusing on those models. Okay, so don't go and look at Nissan Almera, for example, or any other Nissan models or hatchback cars, your NP200 and so forth. You are only focusing on those 2 models. All right. Those 4x4 bakkies, double cab bakkies. So you need to research about what product categories do those bakkies feature. How are the competitors selling it? How are they communicating the product? And what is the main message? So for Nissan Navara, for example, what is their main message when marketing it? For GWMP series, what is the main message? If you go to their digital channels, how are they selling this product? Because you want to see if you can actually be able to pick up the digital marketing aspects of the way they sell their products. So in bullet point form, provide 3 facts per competitor for each sub question, and you must reference each bullet point, otherwise you get a 0, even if you have a relevant fact. So also need to make sure that you get these facts from reliable sources. Okay, not just because you got a post from a Nissan Facebook page, then all of a sudden you are like, according to the Facebook page for Nissan, so and so and so. That's not academic, okay? You need to look for reliable sources. So we are done with the second part of question 2. Are there any questions so far? Any questions? Trimonia, what language do you speak?
I speak Swati.
Swati, okay.
Yes.
All right, yeah, because I now know what languages all the students speak in class. So that's why I'm asking you since you're not in class.
Okay.
So you are from Pumalanga
Yes,
or
I'm
from
from
Swaziland
Pumalanga.
itself?
From Pumalanga.
Okay, all right. Okay, cool. So if you get stuck in English, always feel free. Then we can help you. You can find the right word, the right English word whenever you run out of the concept. Because I've seen that with students, especially last year.
Yes.
Yeah, I do understand Swati. I
Okay.
always see it. I always see it as broken Ndebele, by the way.
No,
Because
it's
in
not.
Ndebele they say indaba. In Swati they'll be like tindaba, right?
Indaba.
You see?
Yes.
So it's like someone who's got a problem with the tongue. All right. Yeah, I can understand it. So it can always help you. Sometimes as assessors, as educators, we always underestimate the role of mother tongue or native language in making sure that students actually grasp the concept and understand them. Because we
Yes.
do not all think in English, by the way. So if it comes to that, I can always help as well. I speak many languages. At the moment, I'm on 18 African languages.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Now we move on to the third part of the second question. Create a buyer persona of the person buying a Peugeot. So remember, when you say Peugeot, we are only focusing on that twin cab that is in the brief. So according to the information that you are going to search, that you are going to look for, who is likely to buy that car? That's what you are being asked here. This helps especially when you are formulating a digital marketing strategy, because that campaign needs to speak to someone. You do not just throw it out there. You need a specific target audience. Okay? So you need to create a buyer persona of the person who is likely to buy that car. Is it someone who is based in Cape Town? Is it someone who is based in Johannesburg? Is it a farmer? Is it an accountant? Is it a student? Is it a married person? Is it a single person? Is it an outgoing person? Is it an indoors person? Is it someone who is from rural areas where there's gravel road, because it seems to be a 4x4 that drives on tough roads, for example? So you need, based on the insights that you are going to research about, you need to give us, to convince us through a buyer persona, the person who is likely going to buy the car. So you must first provide 5 facts about the target market in the bullet point form, and it must be referenced. Okay? No references, no marks. So here we are going to be doing segmentation. We'll discuss segmentation, I think, mid-March or towards the end of March. But remember, everything that is on the assignment here, you are going to learn it in class before the submission date. So these are things, if we haven't covered it already, you are going to cover it before the 12th of April, so before the submission date. We would have discussed this. So we are going to discuss buyer persona, and how to, so we are going to discuss a theoretical definition of a buyer persona, how a buyer persona works. Then it's up to you for a student to be able to apply it. Remember, the concepts in digital marketing would be the same, but it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Contexts are different. That's where you fit in as students. You need to show us, how does this concept fit in this context? How does this concept fit in this situation? That's your duty as a student. My duty is to unpack the concept for you, to unpack the theory, discuss the theory with you. Then based on the discussion, based on your understanding, and you are also encouraged to read widely, to get different perspective, then you can be able to apply it in different situations and scenarios. So you must then creatively use the facts that you got from research to bring them to life. That is going to be 10 marks, and you need to make sure that your answers are sufficient enough to give you 10 marks. That's the third part of question 2. Then we move on to the last part of question 2, which is part 4. Make recommendations on options that Peugeot can use to generate digital revenue. So you also need to understand the question here. You are just recommending. I know that, guys, in your real life, you have made recommendations, be it your sisters, you recommend, oh, buy this, don't buy this one, use this and do not use that one, It is the same way you would recommend. You would make recommendations in this assessment. However, you need to justify your recommendations. So make recommendations options, make recommendation on options that Peugeot can use to generate digital income. So instead of them just selling their products, the cars that they sell, how can they also make money without selling those products? So what other alternative income can they get other than selling the cars that they sell? As you guys know, nowadays, you can actually monetize your digital profiles. You've got an artist, for example, who is on Instagram. Your Casper Nyovest is on Instagram. His product is being an artist, performing and singing. That's how he makes money. But at the same time, he's now making alternative money by having an Instagram account whereby advertisers can come there, by having many views and stuff like that. He's actually generating income for having a social media profile and followers. You know that, right?
Yeah, with you.
So you also need, I know to some extent, most of the AMA 2000, you guys are also sort of following this, whereby you do not want to look for employment and you just want to generate income through social media content. So you need to make recommendations and tell Peugeot how they can do the same, other than selling the cars that they sell online. All right. So we are done with the 45 marks for question 2. Before we move on to question 3, which is the last question, are there any questions so far? How is this assessment? Does it sound too difficult? Is it intimidating you? Or it sounds too easy? Humphrey?
No, it doesn't sound too difficult. Doesn't sound too easy.
So how does it sound then?
I don't know, say.
Okay, all right. Pneumonia?
It doesn't sound too difficult, but it's also not easy.
Okay.
Yes.
So in essence, you're just agreeing with Humphrey.
No, I feel like it doesn't sound too difficult,
Okay,
but I
all
don't
right.
want to say it's easy.
Because you are leaving room for disappointment.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Then you move on to the last part of the assessment, which is going to be 20 marks. Conduct a macro-environmental analysis and practically discuss the variables affecting Peugeot as the Peugeot entry goes into warrior mode plan. You need to research how the macro-environmental variables, which is the pestle factor, affect Peugeot and state how the variables would affect and influence your digital marketing strategy. So you are going to use the pestle model to discuss the macro-environmental factors that could affect this. And we are also going to unpack this in detail as we progress with our lessons. But you need to make sure that this question has got 20 marks. I think it is the only question in the assignment that has got more marks. So you have to be careful on how you are going to earn all those 20 marks. You see, there it mentions pestle factors. I'm going to highlight that. I don't know if you guys can see on the screen. So it mentions pestle factors there, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 letters representing a factor. So since it's 20 marks, you can pick up, it's all up to you, but you have to be consistent with what you're going to choose. You can pick up 5 letters there. Then under each letter, you've got 4 points that you're going to unpack. That's going to be 20 marks. Or you can pick up 4 letters here, and under each letter, you're going to have 5 points and unpack them. Then you've got your 20 marks. Whatever answers that you're going to have, you need to make sure that there's a balance. For example, if you pick up only 1 letter here and over-explain it, unfortunately, you're not going to get 20 marks. Okay. Remember, P stands for something, E stands for something, S stands for something, T stands for something, E stands for something, and L stands for something. So you need to fully understand that. Otherwise, if you do not do what I'm telling you, you are going to get few marks out of 20. So everything that we've discussed now, that's your 100 marks. We are done with the assignment. Are there any questions so far? Then we move on to additional marks. I always refer these marks as free marks, because these marks can actually save you from any lifeline. For example, if you get 45% in the assignment, these marks, can just bridge you to more than 50% if you follow the instructions, because these marks are based on what you are going to do. They are not based on your thinking capacity or your cognitive development. It's just things that you are asked to do so that you can present your work in a professional manner, in an academic manner. So if you follow the instructions, you are going to get 10 free marks. But if you do not follow the instructions, that's where it's going to be a problem. So the first additional mark, are out of 5, which is professionalism, meaning you must adhere to academic writing with consistency in the structure and layout of the assignment. So you need to make sure that there's consistency. For example, I cannot have a paragraph. Your first question is written in area 9, Then the second paragraph is written in Times Roman 10. Everything must be uniform. So if it's like that, I'm going to deduct marks, because you have to show that you are a student who is in a final year, by the way, and who is also at higher education. So you need to make sure that there's professionalism, and it is mentioned actually here. So the written document must be typed using the following specifications. Either you are using Times New Roman or you are using Arial. So those two are font style. So it's either you choose New Times Roman, and once you choose New Times Roman, it means that the whole document is going to be New Times Roman. All, or Times New Roman. All, if you choose Arial, it means that the whole document is going to be Arial. So don't mix. Whatever font style that you are going to choose between Times New Roman and Arial, you just need to go with one. And the font size has to be 12. Okay, we check these things. And then line spacing, which has to be 1.5. But sometimes we assume that this is common knowledge. Do you know where to get these, guys?
Yeah, I do.
Humphrey, do you know where to select Arial or Times New Roman?
Yes, sir.
Do you know where to get the font size?
Yes.
Do you know where to get spacing?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay. So just to show you, since my screen is on, so this is where you get your font size. And please, as you can see, there's Calibri, it's 18th century, there's this and that. You are only given 2 options there, and you only choose one. So it's either you choose Arial or choose Times New Roman. All right. But professionalism won't just end there. You also need to make sure that you stick to academic writing. Avoid the use of slang. Okay, must avoid the use of slang. You need to stick to academic writing. You need to make sure that your structure is consistent. If you are using subheadings, it means that throughout your assignment, it's going to be subheadings. If you are using bullet points, it means that throughout your assignment is bullet points. If you are going to use numbering, it means that throughout your assignment is going to be numbered. Academic writing also includes language. I understand that English is not our mother tongue. but I always encourage students that you need to make sure that your sentences are short. That way you won't have much grammar. Okay, you need to make sure that your sentences are short and sweet, and avoid over explaining, especially on the things that you have not been asked. For example, if someone asks, "What's your full name?" the answer would be, "My name is Abednego Banda," or "My full name is Abednego Banda." It ends there. But the moment you start saying, "My name is Abednego Banda, the name Abednego comes from this and this, Banda was the surname of this and that, hey, when my mother was pregnant," you see, the moment you over-explain, the moment you are accumulating as much grammar as possible, and all of a sudden you are missing the academic style and so forth. So you need to make sure that your sentences are short and you're just answering what you are being asked. Then the second part where you need to get free marks is on referencing. And the good thing with referencing, there is a Harvard referencing guide. You can even find it on Google. If you search, you can download it. I know that it's readily available. You can even go to YouTube, play on videos or manuals on how you can reference in text and on the reference list. All right? So that you can know where to put the surname, where to put the page number, where to put the age, where to put, the name of the publisher, the city where the publication was published, how to reference social media pages, and so on. So this is available for you, meaning that if you stick to what has been given in terms of the Harvard referencing guide, you can actually get 5 marks. Remember, there are different referencing styles. There is APA referencing. We are not focusing on that. There's AMA referencing. We are only sticking to Harvard referencing. So you need to be consistent in both in text and your reference list. So in everything then, you are going to get 110 marks, okay? Then the technical aspects of the assignment, please make sure that you have the details on the assignment. There are students who have got a tendency of submitting assignments without their names or surnames on it. That's not professional, by the way, and you can lose marks as a result of that. And remember, there are 3 campuses for Boston Media House. There's a campus in Pretoria, there's a campus in Sandton, the one that you guys are part of, and there's a campus in Durban. And the system is centralized, means that all those campuses rely on core campus. So make sure, guys, you indicate which campus you form. Otherwise, if you do not do so, a lecturer from Pretoria is going to mark your assignment, or a lecturer from Durban is going to mark your assignment. So please indicate which campus you form. Also put the assessment code, the subject, and the student number, okay? And you must also indicate whether you are full-time or part-time, and you also need to put your lecturer's name so that we may be able to know which student is which, because sometimes you have got students that have got similar names and similar surnames, especially Abo Lerato and Palesa. All of a sudden you've got Palesa Zulu from Pretoria and Palesa Zulu from Sandton. But if you put my details there, your lecturer's name, I know that this is my student, I'm going to mark that assessment. So please make sure that you put all your details there on the cover page, and make sure that it is signed. As mentioned at the beginning, the assessment is going to be electronic format, so I'm not going to accept any hard copy, so you are not submitting this in class. And the assessment must not be more than 10 pages, excluding the cover and reference list or any other appendices. So anything over 10 pages will not be marked. If your assignment is more than 10 pages, it's not be marked. As you can see, there are only 3 questions in the assignment. Why would you have 10 pages in the first place? So make sure that the assignment is not more than 10 pages. And as I said, the font style is there, the font size is there, the line space is there. Okay. Then you have got the rubric at the bottom. You can actually see how marks are going to be allocated. That way you can always, know whether to work hard on this question or not to work hard on that other question. However, I strongly, strongly encourage you to work hard on all the questions. That's it about the assignment briefing. Was everything clear to you?
Yes, it was clear.
Okay, thank you, Primonia. Humphrey?
Yes, everything was clear, said. But I do have a question.
Okay, I'm listening.
Uh, you mentioned that when we differentiate, you recommend that we use a column form.
Use a table.
Yes.
Mhm.
Is it the same with numbering, where you said throughout the assignment you must use numbering if you're using numbering?
Yes.
Must we use column form? If we use column form once, is it mandatory that you must use column form throughout the assignment?
No, remember, you are going to number the questions as they are here, right? When you're
Yes.
providing your answers. That's how you're going to number them. So if it's 2.1, you're also going to put 2.1, and it has to be clear that is 2.1. But where you are going to look for similarities or differences, you can put a table. Don't just throw a table there. You need to sort of like provide a brief overview of that table. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, so you don't just throw columns and rows, then that's it. You also need to put a sort of like, an abstract of what the table is all about.
Oh, okay, that's
So,
understandable.
yeah, for example, let's just look for a question that needs a table. Uh, this one depends how you answer. You answer it. This one that asks for percentage analysis, can you see that?
Yes.
You can say question 3, you numbered it, right? Then give an introduction. Microanalysis is A, B, C, D, In the table below, A, B, C, D, then you put the table. At least I see what you are trying to say. You don't just throw the table there and then disappear.
Oh, okay, said. Thank you.
Are you answered correctly, Humphrey?
Yes,
Did I
said
understand
absolutely.
you?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Any questions? And also, guys, be careful of spellings. I know that most of the softwares that they use, they've got autocorrect, but just be careful because sometimes if you are offline, like if your laptop or whatever gadget that you're using is offline, the software doesn't autocorrect. So you need to make sure that your spellings are correct and that your punctuation marks are also in correct place. For example, a full stop, where to put a full stop. Some students leave a space, then full stop, then starts a new sentence. So be careful when it comes to spacing, paragraphing, punctuation, sentencing, and so on. Okay. All right, I believe there are no further questions, so the briefing is over. If there's something that you come across as you work on the assignment, please give me a shout. You can always ask questions even in class and we'll discuss. As I said, it's always good to discuss in the presence of other students. Sometimes those students actually have answers for you.